Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'm just sharing my screen.
Ravana decided, I'm going to send 2 others, missionary spies, intelligence agents, and check out the scene. I want to understand the vastness of his army. And they came, and they were detected. And they were tormented and brutalized, and once again, Ram intervened. These names, again, it doesn't say if it's the same Sukha, but Sukha and Sarana. These 2, just rather than assuming the form of a bird, they assumed the form of monkeys, monkey warriors. And they were detected. But they were treated with respect because of Ram's intervention. So, Maryada Purushottama. Now, this isn't normal behavior in wartime. We know what's going on in wartime these days, and it's not like this. But Vaishnava Sadachar, again, this word Sadachar means good conduct. This is a photograph of one devotee in the backside, that's Gauranga. He's a brahmachari, and he's giving a tour of their Govardhan Echo village in Maharashtra to Lokanath Maharaj, who's a sannyasi holding his danda, pointing out this and that. And in the presence of superiors, you don't speak much about yourself. Certainly don't speak highly about yourself. And in Ramayana, this very same conduct was, in this case, shown by Hanuman. Because to get to Lanka in Sundarakanda, and there were obstacles and obstacles and obstacles, and more obstacles, and then meeting Sita, and then the whole event. It's a whole kanda, a whole big section, very large section. And when he came back, he narrated all of what happened to his friends. But later, when he gave a report to Ramachandra, he didn't say anything to Ramachandra. He is not bragging about his heroism. He's just sharing with them, this happened, and then that happened, and then the other thing happened. His burning of Lanka, and he was captured, and Simhika, and everything. But when he went before Ram, he just gave Ram the news that he wanted to know. That is, Sita is safe. Here's the layout of Lanka. You have 30 days to rescue her because of the threat of Ravana. And he made no mention at all, the practical things that he needed to know, but nothing about his heroism. And that's Vaishnava etiquette. In this case, exhibited by Hanuman. Then there's another scene. Many of you that know Ramayana, these well-known scenes. The virtuous brother of Ravana was Vibhishan. Vibhishan tried and tried again and tried again unsuccessfully to persuade his elder brother to be virtuous and return Sita. Don't bring destruction to the entire kingdom of the Rakshasas. Their Sri Lanka will be lost. Ravana was furious. Vibhishan left with his ministers, and he came before Sugriva, asking Sugriva, please let me know, please convey a message to Ram. I want to take shelter of him. Please ask him if he'll accept me. So Sugriva carried the message to Ramachandra. And he didn't just convey the message, he gave his opinion. Don't do it. Because XYZ. And then Ramchandra, being a leader, he asked others, what was your opinion? What is your opinion? What is your opinion? And they all had basically diverse opinions, but don't do it. Reasons were different. And silent in this whole episode was Hanuman, not speaking till spoken to. And then Ram turned to Hanuman and said, what's your opinion? What should be done? There's a very long section where one by one, now, there are persons who, by many considerations, they're his superior. So you don't speak against the superior. That's a violation of etiquette. But he spoke about what was spoken by those superiors and pointed out the holes in the bucket. There's this hole, there's that hole. There's a very wise, insightful description of all these different personalities that said something that he didn't agree with. And then he finally accepted that there's no need for discussion because I know Ramachandra has already accepted him. Because it's his nature. Someone wants to take shelter, you give him shelter. So here's a little bit from the Yuddha Kanda section of Ramayana. There's the Sanskrit for this verse. Now, Hanuman, who was endowed with good sanskaras and was the best of advisors, spoke words that were smooth, meaningful, sweet, and laghu, light or brief or eloquent. And then he gave his reasons why the buckets had holes in it, what other people were advising. And there's nothing really to discuss because Ramchandra has already accepted him. And Ram confirmed, yes, it's true. I've already accepted him. He was doing what a leader will do, ask opinions, but he had already accepted him. He said, even if Ravan himself came, he won't. If Ravan himself came and asked for shelter, I'd immediately give him, after all he's done, stealing Sita and this and that, I'd give him shelter. So Vibhishan is deserving of shelter. So I accept him. And then this very important, anyone who even once utters this statement, I take shelter of you, forever I protect them. It's a very important teaching in Ramayana. It's part of the Sadachar, the good character, good conduct. Now, winding up, we're nearly completed. Every day. It's not always a calamity. There's something, but it's not every day a calamity. And there's different challenging circumstances in life. So what do you do on a day-by-day challenges of life come in your way? And what's your good conduct when that happens? So here's a very nice painting or depiction, is an AI graphic design. Ramchandra is sitting there. He's gotten word of Hanuman has returned. Sita is considering to give up her body, give up her life, if not rescued in 1 month. He doesn't know how to get across the ocean. There's no apparent means to do that. Bharata, his brother, has taken a vow, if you don't return in 14 years, I'll enter into fire. He's feeling intense separation from Sita, and he's sitting down and doing his sadhana, worshipping the personality of Godhead. Because he's setting an example, because he's Maryada Purushottama. He's the personality of Godhead, but he's setting an example of proper conduct for a devotee of the Lord. Almost done. There's a final little episode. Back in Ayodhya, after Kaikeyi, persuaded by Manthara to ban Ram for 14 years, and your son, Bharata, when he returns back, he'll become the king. When Bharata came back, he's looking for Ram, his beloved brother. He can't find Ram. He can't find Lakshman. What's going on? And he went to see his mother, and his mother said, "Oh, didn't you hear the good news? You're going to become the king." What? Say it again. You're going to become the king. Your father has promised that you'll become the king. And hurry, you should make all arrangements to sit on the throne and get anointed as the king of the world, the emperor of Ayodhya. What? And he was so upset with his mother. Many things happened. He took a vow. Not only I'm not going to become king, but I'm going to bring Ram back, and he'll become king. My mother. So he set off with a whole group of people with him to find somewhere in the forest Ramchandra and Lakshman and Sita. And one of the first places he came across was the hermitage of Bharadwaj Muni. And here comes Bharata with a bunch of soldiers. He's not wearing shoes. Notice, he's in his bare feet coming before the sage, Bharadwaj Muni. And Bharadwaj Muni is suspicious. Well, he speaks as if he's suspicious and says, "What brings you here? How nice to see you. I hope you haven't come to do harm to your elder brother, Lord Ramachandra." And Bharata grasps his head and says, "Oh, what misfortune has come to me. I've only come for one purpose, is to bring Ramchandra back, and you're considering that I've come to harm him? Oh, what have I done to cause this misfortune to come upon me?" And he's so sad that others would think that he would have that kind of motivation. And Bharadwaj embraced him and said, "I was just testing you. I know what your purpose is. And here's where you can find him. You go to Chitrakoot Mountain, and that's where he is. And you cross the river and that place, and you'll find him. And may you be successful. May you bring him back, and he can rule in Ayodhya." When he finally, we're about to end, when he finally reached Chitrakoot, he pleaded, he cried, he tried this, he tried that, he tried the other thing, he tried the front door, he tried the back door, he tried the window, he tried the chimney, he tried everything he could, and the answer was no. Our Father has given his word, and my upholding the word of our Father is my life and soul. You become the king. And that was the other half. I'm banished and you become the king. He was checkmated, poor Bharata. So then he had plan B. Plan B was, here's shoes. And you place your feet upon these shoes, and I'll return to Ayodhya, place the shoes on the throne, and your shoes will rule Ayodhya for 14 years. And I shall live in a hut outside Ayodhya. I shall survive only on fruits and roots. My hair will be matted. At the end of that time, if you do not return, then I shall enter blazing fire. So that was the other side of the burning stick on two ends, and Ramchandra's in the middle. Difficulty. And this is our slide showing there's Bharata holding the shoes of Ram, thinking of Ram and Sita, getting their blessings just by remembrance. And finally, they returned. This is Bharata offering the shoes to Ram to step on so he could place them on the throne. So back to our initial point. The initial point is etiquette in the circle of Vaishnavas or devotees of the Lord. There's proper conduct and there's improper conduct. And neglect of proper conduct is improper conduct. So we honor proper conduct. And what is it? What does it look like? So we're going to hear something more at tomorrow evening. But the principle is Shastra, there's Guru, Sadhu, Shastra that give us guidance, and ultimately there's Shastra. That's why I chose to take pastimes from Shastra to give us some indication of what's proper conduct, what's Sadachar, what's Vaishnava etiquette. Because you can't get a better example than Lord Ramachandra. He's Maryada Purushottama. So let's see. We have a little bit of time.
We will pause here for today, and the rest of the part we'll see tomorrow, 6:50. Any reflection, any comment? Anything which someone would like to? Hare Krishna, Leonard, ma'am.
Mataji, this I like Mataji, we should not speak highly of ourselves in front of senior devotees. Maharaj explained Hanumanji, he did many, he crossed the ocean, he did many things, but he spoke with his friends, but he didn't speak in front of Lord Ramchandra. I like this point, Mataji, this principle. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, that's a very important learning actually, and we should learn and practice it. Lalit Prabhu, I have seen you have raised the hand.
A small point, Mataji. Like Lord Ramachandra, he was doing his sadhana, and Maharaj explained that he was surrounded by so many challenges and reversals and issues, but still he was fixed in his daily sadhana. So I think it's some nice thing to introspect for me, or nice things to learn for my own self. Continue to do my own sadhana or services in the middle of all the challenges and reversals. That's a small thing, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you. And that is the path we all have to take. Yes, Hare Krishna, Mataji, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Bharat's character I really liked. Like he only ensured that Shaiki's plan goes for a toss, and the way he did what he did, like taking a pair of shoes and then taking Ram's blessing so that can rule Ayodhya for the 14 years while he is in exile, is really extraordinary. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, one question I have, like Bharata is taking the shoes of Lord Ramchandra. So one may ask, right, that he might have thought about how Lord Ramchandra will continue his journey without shoes or slippers in the forest. So this question sometimes comes up. I don't know what devotees or acharyas they have said about this, but if there is anything, some answer is there to this question. Any devotees would like to share, please do that. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think others, the Shampan Prabhu, Hari Sham Prabhu can give the good valid reason. But yeah, as a kid, even I thought about it, and my very simple answer given by my own mind was that Lakshman was an expert in making everything. So it is not that there was only one pair of shoes which can be used, but it is something which was touched by the Rama and has the special effect. But I don't know. I see the Shyamavallavi Mataji has raised the hand. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
And Pranam.
Mataji, as I know, I don't read or listen more, but when I heard here and there, I heard that Sita Devi, she used to walk in front of Lord Rama and make sure that there are all the things are clean, and then only Lord Rama and Lakshmana was in behind, protecting from all the sides. Something like that I heard, Mataji. So Sita Devi is there to take care of clearing up the path. That's why she went to Lanka before Ramachandra went. Like that, something. I don't know the deep understanding behind it, but that's how I understood. Shamkun Prabhu can help us.
Yeah, because in generally in the pictures we don't see Sita Devi in the front. We see her. I mean, I don't think so. Everything is based upon the uh, facts in our scriptures, but I don't see her walking in the front. And I really didn't think beyond my own answer given by own mind that there must have been some arrangement done by Lakshmana. Shamkun Prabhu, do you have something, or you please answer this question?
Okay. You could be right. I don't have clear understanding. Maybe you are right in saying that Lakshman would have crafted another set of shoes. And it is also true that Agre Pashyami, I mean, like, I know, I will go, Agre Gamishyami, I will go in the front, is what Mother Sita had said. And that at the time of leaving Ayodhya, and that had deep implications in saying, Mother Sita said, I will go first. And she was the first to enter Lanka. And and she said, I'm going to destroy all the thorns on your way. And that included people like Ravana and others. So that is having one kind of meaning there. And you could also be right. I'm not so sure about it.
Okay. So, sorry, dear Lalit Prabhu, we'll have to search more. Any other question? Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Just I
Dandavat
want,
Pranam, Mataji.
yeah, Hare Krishna. These classes are very, very nectar, like not even give value how much like that much potency is there. I felt in these classes, especially Vaishnava etiquette, what Maharaj is saying. I like the point where Kaikeyi is thinking about Bharata welfare, how he will be happy like that. But when she expressed, you can become the king like that. But Bharata is not at all happy. So he was very disturbed and like that. And he took the shelter. Only my happiness is taking the shelter of lotus feet of Rama like that. So in our practical lives, what we think for our children, oh, there is the happiness for them, there is the happiness for them like that. But through Bharata, we need to uh, teach our children like these all just temporary happiness. Ultimate happiness will be there like that. So we need to train our children. This is just like come and go like that, but permanent happiness always near the deities like that. So this is just theoretical relation. Even I am not there, but I felt this is very inspiring uh, to share with all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. But I really actually differ with you on this point. I mean, what I feel that instead of training our kids, I want to train myself first. I Because I don't even find myself trained or doing something which can give an example, good example to them for following. So I I will not try for training. I will try to correct myself first.
Yes, Mataji. Even I thought of adding that point also. We need to become like example, not like go like that. We parents are the example for mirrors for children like that. So just thought of adding, but I forgot. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Di Lalit Prabhu, yes.
Mataji, just to add this point that first let me become a pakka and then I will teach to my subordinates. So, when in the initial days of me being with ISKCON, and we slowly started, our seniors used to say, okay, you do prachar, you tell this knowledge to others. And we said that, Prabhu, first let me become, a nice devotee and sincere devotee, and then I will do all this prachar. He said that that time will never come. So what he said, what he meant was that you also practice for yourself or sincere, and at the same time you teach to others also. So both the things should go together. So while teaching or while doing this prachar, you will also learn the same time. You will become more sincere. So it's not one after another. It's both can go together. So maybe something similar we can think while training our subordinates or teaching our children also. That's just a small thing. Correction.
Yes, Prabhu, I agree with you. But then, I mean, this is again different personalities and different things. So training in my views can be with the purpose of training, and training can be the self-explanatory, like actions, or the picture has 1,000 words in it. So the kids, they also follow, they also see the changes in ourselves which are happening every day because of following something or doing something. So instead of asking them to change, I will try to change myself, maybe a bit or too, little, little, but they can see better than me whether I'm changing or not changing, and they can follow. So, I mean, giving a proper word training that, okay, I want you to correct. Instead of that, I want them to see the change which I'm trying to bring, which I'm trying to do in my life. And definitely, I want them to learn, but not by instructing them. I want them to sense it. So that was my take, my understanding, Prabhu. So yeah, I think we deviated from the topic. Shyamkan Prabhu, you would like to conclude on the Maharaj session or
Mhm.
anything else if you want
I
to add?
just have few things, but um, anybody else would like to add? Either Subudhi Rai Prabhu or Yugala Kishore Prabhu. Anything you'd like to add before I start?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes,
Means,
Prabhu.
means one point has always been one point has always been on my mind whenever I hear discussions about Ramayana. But when you give a word or when you receive an instruction, how much value it had. Means we see with the examples of Lord Ram and Bharat. So means there were many things in Ramayana, but whenever means Lord Ram's father told that okay, now we have to go to forest, then means when we compare it with our daily lives, means I feel very embarrassed that it's not compare, but we have to learn from these lessons. So how important if one word is given by superiors that we have to try to follow. So that was such a big lesson. Only this point comes to my mind. Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Kumarika Mataji, I thought you were trying to speak something. Were you?
Yes, Prabhu. Actually, the children never learn if you talk to them and preach to them, but they learn by your example. Unless and until we are exemplary, the children, we cannot expect our children to listen to our words. They are very discerning. Speaking. That is one thing. And I love the point that one should be a fool in front of the sannyasi guru and not we should not be um, bragging about ourselves. That 2 points I like.
You, Harisha Prabhu, you want to say something?
No, Prabhu, just for the Deelata Prabhu's question, from Valmiki Ramayana, it says he was offered, it looks like he was offered a new sandal to step on to be blessed with. Okay, and it's not the one which he was already wearing. That's all I just want to add. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Even I heard Maharaj saying Bharata was having a plan B, so he came with chappal. That's what I heard, if I'm right. So.
Right, Maharaj was saying he offered him. So.
Not there, Yugalakeshwar Prabhu is not there. And Chennakesha Prabhu, after a long time you've come. There, Chennakesha Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, I am there, but I couldn't follow completely, Prabhu.
Oh.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No
Maybe
problem.
1 or 2 more days.
No problem. And Pranavalla Prabhu, I think you are there with Madhu Shidri Mataji. Anything from you, Pranavalla Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, he is taking rest, Prabhu. Even I like the point, one more point, Kumarika Mataji, what she shared, we need to be always in front of spiritual master, superiors like fool. I remember the past time of Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though they are very intelligent as a spiritual material appliances, these all, but they are saying we are big fools in front of you like that. So, yes, Prabhu, that's thought of sharing. Thank you.
Is to add a little bit and some other thoughts. Some of you, okay, let me start with what Deela Prabhu said. And with the exchange between Deela Prabhu and Shweta Mataji. Side, Shweta Mataji was echoing, and also Kumarika Mataji added that let us be good examples, and others, especially children, will learn. Very valid. Dear Lalit Prabhu was said, there is never a time when we'll be perfect. So start speaking about it, no matter where you are. That is also right. Is there one thing that one approach that fits every time? No. Something, this is just my personal experience, can contest it. It is not, it is rooted in Shastra to some extent, but it is not given explicitly that way. It so happens that when we observe others doing some things and then we try to emulate them, especially when we like those persons, then such a behavior goes very deep. That goes, so that is substantiating or accepting what Kumarika Mataji and Shweta Mataji said. It's true. However, not everybody in this world is capable of observation. Or people are so full of their own problems in life. In their mind, people are full of their own desires, etc., that they are not actually stopping to observe. And it's not like they're bad people as such, even amongst us. I'm talking about even amongst us as the practicing devotees, we are rarely present in this world. We are living in our mind, in the castle of. Sometimes it so happens that we may need some things to be told explicitly. And there is a downside of it. The downside of it is, or not one, many downsides of it. The first downside of it is when anything is told explicitly, by default, we have accumulated enough pride in our abilities, in our own selves, that when anything is told to us, we believe, how can you tell this to me? Like, in that's the default reaction that comes. I know everything. It's not just there in us now. If you look at children right from a very young age, I know everything, and inherent in that I know everything is, who are you to tell me anything? That is one part of it. And that's where this whole series comes into picture, that we need to inculcate in our own selves and in others the feeling of respect that, like how Maharaj is saying here, like to about Hanuman, he didn't speak against superior. And in the bracket, it was not written about being a bhakta or a devotee. He said whether it could be in age, position, responsibility, or experience. So these are apparent things. It's very easy to know somebody is elder in age. It's directly easy to know somebody is in position or responsibility or they have experience in life. We know that explicitly. Devotion, we may not know. How much anybody has devotion, nobody knows. Almost nobody knows. Right? So the first point here is when somebody is being instructed or told it's that please do this, the tendency to retort is very high. And that tendency to retort is something that we should guard ourselves against with. However, it so happens in my experience that people need a combination of being told explicitly and being keeping quiet about it. The thing that happens here, when the thing that happens in life, when sometimes we don't tell it explicitly, is it creates in one of the persons the tension in mind that I have been doing it so many times. Like say for a parent themselves, I'm just taking the example for parent. Every time my child comes home, my child will just take the socks and throw it in one place. And then when they eat prasadam, they will take a plate and wherever they eat it, they'll keep it there itself. They'll not wash it. And one approach which parents do is take the socks, keep it inside, take the plates, wash it and keep it inside. The parents can do it. But of course, within this, two things can be done. One is make it known explicitly in front of the child by saying, I'm lifting this. I mean, like not saying it, but make it visibly known that the parent is doing it. And the other is without the child know whether the child sees it or not, just do it. What happens in the former one? In the former one, the child also gets the samskara that whenever the child has to do something, he has to make it known to he or she has to make it known to others that I am doing it. In the latter one, the risk is that the child may learn sometimes, but he or she may never learn it in life. And that's why you see that the methodology used in Vedic scriptures is not this or that, but a combination of both. Sometimes repetition is helpful. Explicitly stating is helpful. While explicitly stating it, we ourselves also strive to be an embodiment of that very same principle. Both. And this works with children, this works with adults, everybody else. The key thing here is that from our own side at least, we should bring down our level of uh, wanting respect to an extent that somebody can very easily tell us, hey, you're doing this mistake. Sometimes our pride is a barrier in receiving something, some nice, either you can call guidance or a behavioral pattern itself, or even spiritual teachings. That pride is a big barrier for us. When we lose that sense of pride, the others feel that I can tell whatever I want. He's an approachable person. I can say whatever I like, and he'll take it properly. So pride is one aspect, and the other aspect is not going too much into self-analysis on, oh, I'm so bad, I did this. Oh, he's praising me, I'm so good. So vacillating between this extent to that extent also makes others think, should I really speak about it to this person? That's there. That was one point with respect to what you said, dear Prabhu. The other thing that I wanted to elaborate a little bit is this point that one should not speak highly of oneself. And we see that when with His Holiness Rumpad Maharaj, from whom we are hearing these lectures, one can avoid speaking highly of oneself if one's goals are very high and one always feels I'm far away from the goal. Recently, one devotee wrote to Maharaj saying, Maharaj, I'm here. Like recently, he was giving classes on Lakshmana, and one devotee wrote to Maharaj saying, Maharaj, as I'm hearing your lecture on Lakshmana, I am feeling that you are the very embodiment of service which like Lakshmana. And Maharaj replied to the devotee saying, I'm just learning learning the ABC of service. I have a long way to go. And sadhus like Maharaj don't speak like this just to deflect the attention on themselves. They feel so. So one example we see, and Maharaj has actually set a very, very, very high standard for not speaking highly of oneself. And one of the nice ways in which he does not speak about oneself is actually that he directly, eagerly takes the help of devotees who are far younger to him, who could be almost like his son's age, if at all. He refers to them, he asks them what is this in that mood of humility. So the one way, the negative way of saying is don't speak highly of oneself. The positive way of saying the same thing, in other words, is uh, give value to others. And that's what Maharaj does. He consults others, and not just that, he tells openly, oh, so and so devotee told me this. So devotee told that. Why? Because the objective here is that he is not the embodiment of all knowledge, all bliss, or anything like that. Krishna has bestowed everybody else with something. Let me try to see what Krishna has bestowed on different people. Then it becomes very natural to not speak highly of oneself. Right? So a higher purpose helps, or a higher value system helps to easily follow a lower value system. That's one thing here. The another point, very tough thing that happened was when Bharata was suspected by Bharadwaja Muni that he is probably going to the forest to finish off Lord Ramachandra once and for all and remove the obstacle to him being the king forever. He was doubted, even though he had good intentions. But Bharata did not retort. He remained humble. This is very tough. But when this is done, many times, on one side, we see that Bharadwaja Muni said, I know your heart, but it was just that I was trying to have a nice exchange with you, try to deepen uh, deepen your absorption in Lord Rama and how the world can see it. All that can be said. But when we meet others, we don't meet other Bharadwaja Munis. We don't meet people who know what is there in our mind. And it can so happen that people do suspect us. The problem that happens is many times we view life as a zero-sum game. Is what it's called as a zero-sum game, which means either I win or you win. It's not both of us. So if you are accusing me, I have to tell back how I am right and how you are wrong. It's either I am right or you are right. But what we fail to learn in life is it's not just the words, it's not the accusations, or it's not the suspicions itself. There is something more to it. In other words, when somebody is suspecting us, it's not just the actions here, but probably there is something for us to learn. I can give you an example. One point in time, I was under a particular leader, and that leader said, "You seem to be just caring for people who are disciples of your own spiritual master. Uh, why why are you like this? Why are you so narrow-minded?" And I did tell that leader, look, I'm doing not just for the disciples of my spiritual master, I'm trying to do for everybody else too. And I gave examples, this way, that way, this way, that way, etc. He kept quiet, and being a gentleman, he didn't say anything much. But much later, I realized the value in what he said. He was actually trying to say, hey, you're trying to limit yourself in just, if not doing all, doing 80% of your activities in that arena. You can probably do something else. And I heard something very similar from another devotee. And so devotee number 2 also said something different, something similar to that end result. So it was something for me to learn. It is not that he is right, I am right. Sometimes there are perspectives to be learned in people's statements. So do not treat somebody when they are so-called accusing us that it is that we are in a courtroom. We have to prove before the judge, which is the other person, that there is a prosecutor who's prosecuting me, and the prosecutor is wrong, and I am right. No, all interactions are not like that. Maybe there is something more to it too. And that's why the underlying fabric is the world is trying to teach me something. My spiritual master has come through the medium of somebody else here, trying to teach me and he's trying to teach me something. And there is, let me try to learn. And anyways, I maintain the hierarchy of respect. Whatever the 8 levels of respect which Maharaj had given earlier from Bhakti Vinod Thakur, I maintain that. When that respect is present, everything else follows through. Many things can go deeper in our consciousness. I have exceeded by 7 minutes today. Sorry.
Thank you, Prabhu, for giving the example of yourself, and we can understand that how we should actually try to understand everyone and respect everyone's perspective. Thank you, Prabhu. We'll close for today and we'll resume again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.